Thank you. Well, it is still morning, right? And finally, we all woke up. It's so beautiful to be in San Diego in this spring, because we've been traveling with Bishop Jan now through the coldest parts of America, and we are preparing actually go to Wisconsin. You know what we can expect, right? So we just ran away from Washington D.C. We're actually flying on Monday. We flew on Monday here. And it was just about this huge snowstorm. So we ran away here. And we found a great shelter in San Diego with amazing friends. And thank you to Philip. And thank you for this opportunity to be able to celebrate this Holy Mass with you today and to speak to you, to share about the work and what is happening actually in Ukraine. If I will not say some words correct, you have to help me, okay? Well, I am from Ukraine. I came here in a very funny way, I would say. I grew up in a family which did not practice any faith. My grandparents immigrated from Russia. It was 1960s. They immigrated. Many young people were immigrating with their families back then in Ukraine because they were building collective farms. They were working at the factories. They were raising cows and pigs, and everything that was prosperity. That's what people thought prosperity is. It is to have a field, a farm, and to work in such a way. Though it is beautiful. And, I have to tell you a little bit the prehistory to say. Remember the first World War, right? So, and really, truly, so many people suffered during this time. So many people have lost their families. And we have young people, just like us, young people who left without parents. The church is in ruins. You cannot believe anymore in God, and everything is closed. And here the persecution happened, persecution of religion. Priests and sisters and nuns, convents were destroyed, killed, and sent out to gulags. It was terrible. It was truly terrible. And then imagine young people who are, maybe like even children, 7, 10, 15 years old, and they're growing, and they see nothing but, they hear nothing but somebody who's so prosperous and thought so charismatic during this time. This Vladimir Lenin, who is proposing to the world a great change. No more slavery from the Tsar, no more history, which is oppression that people had from the Tsars, and they were peasants, and they could not have anything because Tsars were controlling them. And the most power that they wanted to control them by was the church. So he told to the people that to believe in God, it means to kind of receiving like an opium, this is opium for the world. God does not exist. Forget about God. He distributed such a message in a powerful way that it was almost looking like 10 Commandments. I don't know if you ever read this, kind of study the communism a little bit, to see where the roots are actually from. And you could see everything. You must be good, you must be honest, you must be, hard worker, you must be doing all these things. You must not lie. But there is something is the most awful in this all, tricky. It is you must not believe in God. God does not exist. So my grandparents, they were growing up without God too. I asked my grandmother one time, did she ever went to the church when she was young? She said, I went one time. These ladies were standing inside and they're just making the sign of the cross, 100 times, and I couldn't understand anything, so I walked away. I never been. My grandfather, he was believed that the communism was the greatest thing in the world, and it's only by communism system people can actually live and have prosperity. And though I have a good news to tell you, before my grandfather passed away 5 years ago, he have received the last sacraments. So that was a great gift. And here we have this more than 70 years of tremendous oppression. People just could not worship God. They could not enter freely inside of the church. They're not allowed to do anything that means with God. Even when I was baptized as a child, I was baptized underground. I was literally brought by parents inside of the church. The priest quickly baptized me, and then And when they brought me home on the very next day, the local government called, and they said that you must come to our office. We have to speak to you because you have baptized your child yesterday. So they were in danger actually to lose even their jobs. But I thought, though, in spite of all of this, I thought that my grandmother was the most religious person in our family. You know why? Because she had an icon in her home and she knew Our Father prayer. And that's about it. I thought that she was the most religious person in our family. And our grandma kind of, okay, well, the Easter is coming or the Christmas is coming. She didn't really, I asked her till this day, Grandma, how did you were saying this? She said, I just didn't believe that this is the truth, I just, in case, they baptize children in case, people baptize children in case God exists, So my parents baptized me so the child would not cry, in case the evil eye would look at the child. It's so prestigious. It's just really kind of funny. So, and I was growing up in this atmosphere. My friends, we never spoke about God. We were afraid. Each one of us had the questions, but we were so afraid to acknowledge of such an interest that we're interested about to know who God is. And but very, very embarrassed. If somebody would ask you, do you believe in God? No, no, you don't believe in God. Oh, what do you think that? No, I don't want to. I don't, because everybody was really ashamed of that very much. But then something happened into my life very interesting. And my mother, when I was 17 years old, she called me to her work and she said, Valentyna, I have something to tell you. And she said, sit down, I would like to tell you something. So I sit. I thought we were probably going on some trip or something like that. And she said, somebody called me from Kentucky today and they told me that you have opportunity to come to United States. You have won a green card lottery. Have any of you heard about green card lottery? No, this is actually a lottery. The government of United States give 50,000 people all over the world, the third world countries, and this opportunity to come and basically live. They don't give you nothing. They just give you a green card, the visa, go. You are allowed to enter into United States. So I won this lottery. I didn't even knew that I'm playing this lottery. My mother did not tell me this. She said, well, my friends were filling out this application and then I decided to do this, and then she entered somebody else. She entered my uncle and she entered herself in. And then she said, but you're the only one who won that lottery, so you got to go. I said, Mama, what are you thinking? I'm 17 years old. I don't speak English. My friends are waiting for me, by the way, outside. And I want to go anywhere. I don't want America. What am I going to do? Why do you want me to leave my home so fast? She said, just go. And if you don't like it, we will buy you a ticket and you'll come back. And then I start to think, okay, I'm going to be 18. I had to wait 1 year. I had to come here to America. I had to be 18. So I was waiting this time, and the time coming closer, and I was so excited, I can't even describe to you. Remember when you were 18? And imagine this, you were 18, you're in a totally different country. Nobody tells you what to do. Nobody is on you, nobody's putting the spaghetti in your ears, you think of this. And I am free. I'm actually set free. I'm going to America, So I have this suitcase and here I am arriving to Chicagoland, and at the airport I walked outside and I was flying with somebody who also were coming to America, and we were standing there waiting for the friends of this person supposed to come to pick us up. So we were waiting for them, and I see the limos are just coming and picking up one person, just coming and taking one person and takes. I thought, man, do people live here? They just take limo, just like bus, and go in any place they want. I thought, my goodness, that's the life, and then, but Chicago was not my end destination. I was supposed to go to Wisconsin, and when I say that usually to people in Wisconsin where I'm supposed to arrive, people usually laugh. They break their bellies, because it is the place where you don't even know. It's like on the map only in Wisconsin, I had actually two choices. I could go to Denver, Colorado, or to Medford, Wisconsin. You know, Medford, Wisconsin is like a little town with a short main street. You know, there's like only a few houses, and only a few houses, and then the rest of the houses is just spread all over the woods, and there's nothing else. And now I came from the city of almost 1 million people, you know, and it's the city where we had fun with, you know, going to dance clubs, you know, going to, you know, coffee shops and things like that. And here I am, ended up like in this Medford, Wisconsin. And you know why I choose Medford, Wisconsin? So you can imagine kind of the town, right? There is a towns like this, maybe even here, I don't know. But so imagine Denver, Colorado, and Medford, Wisconsin. And I choose Medford, Wisconsin because my friend told me it's closer to Canada. You know, and it's like way far away from Canada anyway, but Wisconsin kind of looks closer to Canada than Denver, you know. That's the only reason why I choose. We did not have internet at this time. And here I end up in the morning, I woke up and I was just thinking, what am I going to do here? What is going to happen to me? But you know, I did not want to be a loser. I did not want to go back because my friends then would tell me that, you know, you just couldn't do that, you know. So I had to stand, you know, I had to be kind of strong and just kind of a pull. But you know, God knew what he was doing. He knew exactly what he was doing, and now I can see it because my first job, which I received, was in a place that calls Black River Industry. Now, there is only people with special needs work in this factory. You know, they do different kind of things, plastic, and they put things in an envelope, and you know, the scissors that we buy in the package, they package that, and just a whole bunch of things that we buy in the grocery store. We don't know who makes it, who packages this, but often it is done in the places like Black River Industry. So my friends asked some friends, and these friends asked somebody else, and so they found a job for Valentyna. And I came there and I was shocked because, you know, I never seen people with the special needs in Ukraine. If you go to Ukraine, you will not see people with special needs anywhere. On the wheelchairs, walking. If you will see, it will be very rare. We had a rare case when I was growing up in my neighborhood. We had a person with the Down syndrome. We as girls walked around him a few blocks away because we were afraid of him. He was like somebody who we're so scared of. If he would look at us, it considers a curse. You see? This is how the mentality of communistic mentality, because this is on pure blood. This kind of a people has to be put in an institution, you know. These kind of people don't even deserve any life. And so imagine this, I ended up, they really didn't, nobody really explained it to me about this factory. So when I came the first day, I'm like, you know, I was so shocked. I was shocked. But then, you know, something beautiful happened right there. I have received so much love from these people like I never received from anybody else. These people were just a complete treasure. You know, and there I think that the mission there began. Something really started right here. Because I thought, my goodness, in my country, people don't know the value of lives of these precious people. They're just considered as outcasts. It can't be this way, you know. And I would be so shocked. This person with this cerebral palsy would be just, you know, one hand is here, another here, and his head is still back. And he would know where to put this detail to this box, and this detail to this. You know, the car, the front panel and the side panels on our cars, they're being done mostly by these people. They have to put the left side and the right side. Imagine this. This is kind of interesting, very necessary work, but you know, and these people are the ones who are doing it. And so I was definitely shocked. And then, you know, going on with my life, to say that it was many beautiful things. America presented to me very many beautiful things. But at the same time, I got to the point when I was just beginning to question, what is the purpose of my life? I'm sure, 100% positive that each one of you ask this question themselves, right? Because everybody, what is the purpose? Even if you know what the purpose of your life, there's going to be a moment when you go, God, what is the purpose of my life? And then so I got to this point when I really needed to hear the answer from God. It just got so dark, so cloudy, so gray, that I couldn't no longer walk forward. What is my life will be? A marriage, a family, I will have children, job. It's just, it seems to me that there's emptiness. There's emptiness. There seems to me that I couldn't even enter into any of this, neither having family, neither have children. It was dark. It was darkness. I couldn't see. I didn't want to go look back, and I didn't want to look up front, because all I could see is gray, nothing else. Because there is no God in my life, you see. I was living the life with no God, absolutely. And it got to the point when just my life was not anymore needed, It was different thoughts I had. But I remembered one day my grandmother told me, "Child, when it's going to be really bad for you, you remember this prayer, memorize this." So she taught me to say Our Father prayer. And I remember there could be no more darker and grayer than what I'm at right now. So I prayed this prayer. I thought, maybe God exists. So I did pray this prayer of Our Father. And to know God enter into my life as the Father is the most beautiful, providential, the most awesome, the most powerful, the most incredible Father that could only be. And then, many things start changing. My friends in the beginning, they were completely shocked. They said, "Valentyna, wake up! We cannot even no longer talk to you. You just not the same anymore." Because they wanted to. My Russian Ukrainian friends, they want to have party on the weekends, and you know how Russian parties could be. So, and I was like, I was not finding myself anymore in this. It was just completely changed and different. And I would be passing by every single day one church of St. John the Baptist Church. And every single day I was passing by, it was a Catholic church. And I so wanted to go inside of that, but I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed of myself, because in Ukraine, though I was baptized, and until I turned 23 years old, I never entered inside of the church. I have never been to either Protestant, either Orthodox, no church whatsoever. Only at the day of when I was baptized, and after this was when I really felt this desire to go. And so, but from here and from France, my friends were telling me, "Oh, you know what? We went down to the church, we stopped there, and here's these babushkas just nagged at us, and they said, you have to wear, this babushka, and you have to." Is that really even work? Can you hear me well like this?
That's for the recording, for the video.
You can turn on the other microphones.
Okay.
Either way.
Okay, so I should keep it? So anyway. And then this what really truly kind of stopped me to enter inside of the church. I was afraid that if I'm wearing jeans, maybe somebody will tell me that I'm wearing jeans. But the most of it all is that I was afraid that somebody will tell me that God is not the Father. It's really funny, right? It's just, but I was so afraid, and I was going to guard it with all my life, with all of myself, that nobody will ever be telling me that God is not that God is not the Father. I knew He is the Father, and I was afraid that maybe people will tell me He's just a spirit, some kind of something. I was my catechism, if you could see, that was completely off scale. It's just completely, there's nothing in there. I just knew maybe some things here and there, but nothing. But I knew Our Father prayer, and that's what pulled me through. And so after a very short period of time, I moved to the different city. And I was, at the very first day, I met one lady, and she had a beautiful pin of Our Lady on her sweater. And so I told her, "This is very beautiful pin." And she said, "Do you know who this is?" I said, "Yes, this is Blessed Father." And then I asked her, "What faith are you?" I was kind of looking at her this way, "What faith are you?" And she said, "I'm Catholic." I told her, "Please take me to the church with you. Please take me to the church with you." She was probably going crazy, thinking, "This is girl, please take me to the church with you." Nobody probably approached her this way before. And so she said, "Okay, me and my husband, we're going to go next Sunday. If you would like, you can join us." So here we went. And, And something very beautiful happened, because the church was full. It was so many people. We were kind of in the back a little bit. And I remember the priest was standing behind the altar, and these people right here. It seems like nobody existed at this time. The priest behind the altar, and whatever he was doing, I knew this is the truth. I just knew that this is God right there. There's something is really happening right there, and this is the truth. And you know, it's really funny too, because I learned my English by watching many movies. And you know, there's like 17th, 18th century movies, and you see like old Catholic church who would be there, and it would be some elder ladies who are sitting inside, and they're just gonna do like these with their rosaries, you know. And I thought, my goodness, I want to have one of these rosaries. I want to have one of those beads myself. And I always loved when the priests were wearing cassocks, you know, they had something white in here, and it was kind of beautiful, I thought. And so here I am, I'm seeing what is happening inside of the Catholic Church. I was fascinated. And you know, very soon I started coming to Holy Mass on Sundays, but even sooner, I would probably say that I had this desire to go to church every single day. When I told to my mother that I'm going to Holy Mass every day, she was sick in her bed for 2 weeks. She thought that somebody hypnotized me. She thought that it is like something is really bad happened to her daughter, and now she has to rescue me. She said, at least on Sundays it's okay, but every single day this is fanatic. You can't do this. I did not raise you for it. You know, she said, I raised you for to have a career, to have all of this, and now you are going crazy completely. So, but you know, I don't know if you guys have ever experienced conversion or reconversion in your life, when you just feel so much God in your life that you feel like you can move the mountains. It's just nothing can stop you completely. You just, there's everything, it seems like God has opened all the doors in front of you and you go. This is what happened to me. So I thought that I will become a missionary. I will do definitely something for God. I want to consecrate, give my life entirely for God. And so then I decided, I had contemplated two things. Either I'll join the army and go to serve an army. And then I thought, well, I'm kind of not built into it, so maybe not army, but maybe I'll become a missionary. So, and then I thought, if I'll become a missionary, then I will go to the most awful place where people needed help so much. So I decided to go to Ethiopia, to Africa, and I was going to actually sign contract for 2 years to join Peace Corps organization and go there and to serve young people, you know, and just be there, work with the children who suffer with AIDS, and just hold them and feed them, do whatever, but do whatever for God. And then when I was already going to sign this contract, I realized that, what am I doing? Where am I going? Because my country is in need of missionaries too. My own people is in need of missionaries. But what can I do? I'm 23 years old. I'm a young woman. I have nothing in my pockets. What can I do for my country? And then I was sharing with one of my uncles, and he said, you know, if you want to do something, first he asked me a question, what do you want to do? I said, I would like to preach the word of God. And there was a silence in the phone, you know. He said, well, if you would like to preach the word of God, then don't do it with your lips, but do it with your deeds. Do something that our people will see that God exists. And he kind of got me there. And so I asked him, what is the most necessity? He said, medical need is the most essential. So this is how it started. Really much pondering, spending many, many hours in Adoration Chapel. You know, if you are searching for the answers for your life and your vocation, that's where you find it. In the most quietest place in the world, it is by the tabernacle, when our Jesus, true God and true man, is right there waiting for us. Can you imagine this? Like right now in this building, God is here. He was just here. I mean, we just received him. Jesus, who is alive. He is not some kind of a, you know, a myth. And you know, realizing this, I so desired that my people understand that too, true, that they're not been able to receive Jesus for so many years, but now this is the time to understand, to learn, to and to welcome God into their lives. So I was just filled with this desire to go back to my country and do something. But the medical need was the most essential, I've heard from my uncle. So here we started. And then I was actually preparing to go to Ukraine for 2 months. It was my trip after I become a Catholic to go to Ukraine for 2 months. And I'm preparing for the worst. I knew that I will not be able to receive the Holy Sacraments for 2 months. And it was great suffering for me. Because I thought Catholic Church does not exist in my city. Because this city, Zaporozhye city, was the dream of Lenin. Stalin has fulfilled his dream. But it was a dream of Lenin, to be completely without God, completely without church. There is not even one single church there, only one open. And and the reason why it was open, to spy those who go inside of this church. You see, they were catching people who were going inside. So smart people did not go there, but my parents wanted to baptize me. Though I'm thankful for them. They were smart to do this, yes. So anyway, I was preparing to go, but when I came, I decided, you know what, I'm just going to try to call the service center and see if maybe in case there's some Catholic chapel or something like this. So when I called, and the person told me, oh yeah, there is a Roman Catholic church in the city, and she explained me where. And I'm entering inside, I'm going there, and I'm entering inside, and I was just struck and the lady who was sitting inside of this church, I asked her, what is the name of this church? And she said, oh, it is dedicated to merciful God the Father. So imagine this, in my own very city, the church dedicated to merciful God the Father who I become to love and know, I was just ready to shout. I kneeled down and I cried so much before I even start talking to this lady. I was just completely shocked how this is possible in my own city, church, Catholic church dedicated to merciful God the Father. So I already came with something very treacherous. Chalice of Mercy mission was established here in America as a non-profit organization, and that mission is to be medical, as you already know. But I wasn't exactly sure how we're going to be about this. It's like, okay, God wants it, and then he was like, what do you want next? How the next thing will be. And then, of course, when I came to Zaporozhye, and at this time I met Father Jan. Now he's a Bishop Jan, but he was just a Father Jan at this time. And he's the only person really who believed that this mission would be possible. He kind of pushed that button, and he pushed the button, my wings are spread. So he pushed me out of the nest. He gave me that enough just courage, encouragement to continue on with the mission. And this is my great he's a spiritual father for me and for our mission too. And so we start talking, we start much praying about what is going to happen next. And when I was returning back to America, I already knew that we were going to be shipping container of medical supplies to one of the most impoverished hospitals there is existing in nearby the city. Serves 45,000 people and have never been updated since 1950s. Imagine this. It looks completely disastrous. Broken tiles, cracked walls, mold on the walls. The birthing center, imagine this laundry room with a shower is the same room, and it looks dirty. It just looks absolutely, you would not want your dog to be living in such a place, It's very awful. So, but while we were preparing to ship first container of medical supplies, decision was made not to just enter and to give this, but to bring the first message of life. Because we were shipping in the container was the birthing beds, and I was really afraid that these beds might be used for something other than the beautiful children might be born into this life on these beds. So we spoke to the doctors. There was about 40 of them sitting there. And these doctors, for the first time, they've heard the message of life. They have never learned in their communistic schools nothing about soul. They've learned about body, but there's nothing about soul. So they couldn't put this together, how this... So there's emptiness, a really great void. And when they heard for the first time this message that at the very moment of our conception we receive the soul, this is already a person, this is a human being created by God, the most beloved person of God. And so that brought a completely different awareness to them. So we decided to walk this way. So you see, the Chalice of Mercy in the beginning was not a pro-life mission, not pro-life movement. It was just a step in. And then God has really done whatever he wants at the next. You know, so 2007, I came to Zaporozhye, and everything started slowly moving forward. But in 2008, I made my first pilgrimage to Medjugorje. Have any of you heard of Medjugorje? Have any of you been to Medjugorje? Father, you've been to Medjugorje, yes. So, okay, this is the place in the world, of course, as many of you know, where Our Lady appeared in 1981 to the 6 children, June 24th, 1981. So I went there because I was so captivated by this, that Our Lady is appearing every single day in Medjugorje. She's giving us messages, she's guiding us, she's helping us to live this life and come closer to Christ, to her Son. So I was going to go there and participate in retreat. It was a silent retreat with Father Jozo Zovko. He was a parish priest during the time when the apparition started. And so the retreat was silent. It was several people, it was about 70 people who English speaking, we had translator, but we did not know each other. Nobody knew each other in the group. We did not came there to meet, to converse, you know, but we came there for a deep conversion of our hearts, to work on ourselves, you know. And so, but after retreat was over and we were returning back to Medjugorje, it was a little bit outside, then we were returning back, I decided to go to the risen Christ statue, which is there, and to pray that Our Lady might intercede to bring Ukrainian youth to Medjugorje. So I was praying the rosary, that rosary which was really difficult for me and hard for me to pray. I didn't understand the prayer of the rosary. To me it was a torture, you know. I understood it was necessary, I understood Our Lady wanted, but it was torture for me, because 150 times Hail Mary, you know, it seems too much. What is the point of this repetitive prayer? You know, I couldn't understand. But Father Jozo said something very beautiful. He said that the rosary prayer, and which we have and which we can pray every single day, is the greatest weapon right now in the world, because this rosary prayer does something very special to us. It's like that each prayer we say, each minute we live. Well, I can't return nothing I said already, and you have shared already almost like 30 minutes of your lifetime with me, and I have shared 30 minutes of my lifetime with you. And nothing we can repeat, nothing we can repeat back. It's the same as a prayer. Every single prayer we say is like a drop of oil that goes inside of our lamp. Because as a Christians, we would like to burn with love for God. And you, as in this beautiful university, are those who are going to go to the world and crack all cement of the evil that is existing. You're the ones who are chosen to be this. You're the ones who are chosen to be that strong voice, that the evil voice will have no right to even speak anymore. Yeah, his time is coming short. Don't worry about this. But it's going to be a very important of how you're going to be in this life, what you're going to be speak. Because the voice of evil is nasty and nobody wants to hear that. Once the people will hear the voice of Christ through you. So the rosary prayer is that drop of oil that goes inside of our lamp, that infills us, that we are the lamps, so that not standing under the table, but on the table, and around which people feel comfort and warmth and love. We are those who to be burned with a love for Christ and to give it to others. And so that with this message, I really wanted my Ukrainian people to experience the same thing. And very much I desire that those people who I met will come to Medjugorje also. So I prayed and I asked Blessed Mother to help me to bring Ukrainian youth to Medjugorje. Believe it or not, after 10 minutes, when this prayer was over, I was going back to the hotel where I stayed, and the person, there was one person who found me. He said, Valentyna, I need to tell you something. Sit down. I need to, now when somebody tells me sit down, I'm kind of cautious about what they're going to tell me. And they said, Valentyna, I want to tell you something because for 3 days I was looking for you, And I feel like Our Lady is calling me to help you to bring Ukrainian youth to Medjugorje. So imagine this. He told me that he will sponsor only 20 people to come. Then he said, I will sponsor 50 people to come. And now for this, over this 6 years, we've been able to bring more than 2,000 young people from our diocese back to Medjugorje to participate in pilgrimages. And so you see that I was just going absolutely crazy in this, doing this retreat with the young pilgrims, you know, and Medjugorje. And then Ukraine doctors and everything happened in the hospital. So, and at one point I just asked God, God, what do you want? Father, what do you want from me? Because I can't be in the same place, you know, and you have to tell me what to do. Because we come to work with the doctors, a very important message of life, and the young people is also very important to speak to them about message of life. And but here we are, you know, here I am. It's not 10 of me, it's only one. And at this time it was obvious that we could try to bring Ukrainian OBGYN doctors to Medjugorje. And we've been doing this for many years now. It is more than 700 OBGYN doctors who participate on this pilgrimage. And many of them have stopped doing abortion. You know, the question is this. It's not about how can we stop this, the evil generation, the culture of death. It is only by one chance. There is only one way we can do this. Until people will know God as their Father, we will not be able to stop. Until we understand our own dignity, we will not be able to stop this. Because we don't know where life comes from, seems, and we don't know where it goes. We don't know who it belongs to. And you know, once we are able to explain to these doctors, to bring this a message very important to them, how important they are to God, then everything changes. And so when they are there, I speak to them about, we pray the rosary, we go to Holy Mass. And these doctors who come, they're atheists who never prayed even Our Father prayer in their life, like me. I never did before something happened. And they never been inside of the church. Some of them don't even know how to make the sign of the cross. So imagine this, we're standing on this mountain and for the first time climbing this place where Our Lady has appeared. I don't give them any brochures. I don't give them nothing. Because when the child is learning how to walk, he doesn't need instructions. He needs the mother's hand, right? So, and it's, with this mother hand, they were able to climb the Appreciation Hill and hold her hand basically by this simple rosary. You know, joyful mysteries is that how we can do the whole retreat for the doctors, for anybody, for young people too. And but for the doctors especially, it is so important that doctors might understand that their vocation, their profession is a vocation and a way to holiness, as each one of our profession is a vocation and a way to holiness. But especially a doctor, I'm sure that you're familiar with Saint Gianna, right? Saint Gianna Beretta-Molla. Yes, she was an incredible saint. And once she said that the profession of the doctor is a priestly vocation, because while the priest is working on the soul of the person, and the doctor is working on the body of the person, right? And while we're here on earth, these two things have to go together. And so it is important we truly accept our professions as a vocation in our life. And so the goal is to explain to these doctors how they can change truly the culture of life by accepting God into their hearts. So we've been doing many things, and I know that I don't have too much time and you're running for your classes. I wish I have more time. But what I would like to tell you is that you have few more years to study, right? Each one of you came to this university with a particular idea, probably, what you're going to be doing in this world, right? So something that is, because your university is very unique, very unique. You're gathered here for the purpose. You're going to be the ones who will go into the world, into the system of the world, and some of the system is going to be evil, and you are to be present for the people as a person who brings the sacraments, person who is believe in Christ in a most special way. And same as in Ukraine, you know, when I work with intern students, medical intern students, right now I see their pain. Here in America, you're able to have Catholic university. In Ukraine, not. We don't have. we have only one Catholic university is by west part of Ukraine. We don't have a Catholic schools. We don't have, we don't have Catholic hospitals. And here you have this. Here in America, there's so much potential. In Ukraine, we don't. And now I would want to ask you for a big prayer. Right now, we're about to do something in Ukraine really unique and historical, because by working with so many doctors, we feel this is coming to the great need. We're out to start a medical college for the nurses, for the midwives, for the physical therapists, for the ultrasound technicians, that these young people, when they go out into the facilities and systems, the old communistic systems, that they might be able to change this understanding and start everything new. This is the only way how Ukraine could be changed. Right now, my country is in war, and this war is very unique, as Bishop was saying, that this war is very, very unique, because never ever before Ukraine wanted to regain its own independence so much. Right now, Ukraine are being united in prayer, and it's true, but it says, we have a logo right now, like a slogan right now, Ukraine, God is with us, and we truly believe God is with us. The communism have no more power over people in Ukraine. People want to be free, and now they begin to understand the freedom only come through the hands of God, because He's the one who come to rescue the most poor, the most weak, right? And we're weak. If Russia wanted, in 2 months, Ukraine would not exist, completely wiped out. But we believe that God will help us, and will help. We hope that through our mission too, He will be able to restore the faith into the hearts of many people. Truly wanted to tell you also that, and I'm sure each one of you have the story, even better than my story 100 times. But let us encourage each other, and someday we will meet someday in this world. The world is truly really small, and I wish you that God the Father might fulfill whatever His will through your lives, and that wherever you go, you be the true missionary. You don't need to go somewhere to Ethiopia to become a missionary. Let us just be missionaries in our own countries, in our families, among our young people, right here, and may God give us the strength. Please pray for Ukraine, and we will pray much for you too. God bless you.
Yeah, maybe 1 or 2 questions real quick, then we gotta get this class in. But does anybody have any questions?
Just a quick question. I don't know, did Ukraine, I'm not sure, you said they celebrated Christmas, or did not celebrate Christmas? Or there was
Some people in West, now I'll explain really quick.
Yeah.
So the west part of Ukraine is really people who live their tradition, they treasure traditions, they fought against the communism, they were really strong. But majority of these people are either Orthodox, either Byzantine Rite. Yes, so they celebrated much of Christmas, they didn't care, under the ground they celebrated. The central part of Ukraine is kind of a people coming from west and from east. But the east part of Ukraine is really much paralyzed by the communism, because people immigrated from Russia down to these territories and they lived. And that's why the system was there really powerful. And so people were really afraid, or they didn't believe in God. But right now Ukraine is truly a fertile ground. It's like the soil that has been tilled, Now you could just go and sow the seeds. It's incredible. How can a abortionist become a doctor of life, just like in 6 days changing, participating in retreat. So the hearts are ready very much. And so Christmas will be celebrated hopefully more. Yeah. So
I don't have a question. I just want to say something.
Okay.
I was listening to kind of a short reflection from Mother Teresa, and something caught my attention. He says, the one who is called knows that it's on her heart. I just want to appreciate you and appreciate your life. You have been called, and you know that in your heart, in mysterious ways. We are going to support you with prayer, and whatever I personally can do, just let me know. And I will take this message not just here in America. I'm from Nigeria, and I'll be going back after studies. I will be able to continue to spread the message. Just thank you for your life.
Thank you, sister. Come to Ukraine now.
Let's maybe end with just a Hail Mary. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Yeah, well, yes. So ends with a prayer, then Hail Mary, and then a blessing. So in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Hail Mary,
full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Amen.
Benedicat vos omnipotens Deus, Pater et Filius et Spiritus Sanctus.
Amen.
thank you.
I have one question. Do you have a website or something that we could
Yes,
visit?
guys, I'm sorry, I did not have brochures with me, but Philip has them, and if you're interested, I can ask Philip to bring, or you could write it down or take a picture. I noticed that now young people don't write anything down; they just take the pictures. It's chaliceofmercy.org. Chaliceofmercy.org. It's much about our mission is written there, and if you're interested, you could just write me my email right there, and I will be so happy to communicate with you and come to Ukraine someday. I told you not do the mission in your country, but come someday there too.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you.